We are here at Tavarish's headquarters. He actually has multiple buildings with a whole bunch of crazy unique cars that we're going to see today. There's a Tesla with an engine, small Japanese K cars, his P1, just a whole bunch of really, really cool stuff. Come on.
What's up, man?
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to what is supposed to be the clean shop. So there's a few cars that aren't mine. Number one is this one. I'm not too into Teslas. And then there's another Tesla over there.
That's an OG.
That's an
Roadster
OG
just
Roadster.
sitting here?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. I think I thought it was a Lotus because it is a Lotus, right?
Sort of. So it's based on the Lotus Elise.
Yes.
And I believe it's stretched 5 or 6 inches. And it has a lot of carbon fiber construction. I mean, you can see the exposed carbon here, but like a lot of the stuff is actual carbon. This is, I don't know much about this, but this was a Japanese import that a friend of mine got. And you can see it's just like, it's real dirty.
Yeah.
So we're gonna clean it up and make it really nice because these apparently, like years ago, you can buy these for like 20 to 30,000.
Sure.
They're 150 grand now.
Wow, those things popped. I remember looking at them pretty recently.
Oh yeah. They drive like a real pissed off Power Wheels car. Like it's basically.
It's kind of like the Rimac Nevera, to be honest with you. That's a great way to describe that thing. Nice.
Yeah. We have a AutoZam AZ1, and this car is a Japanese import, and it's called a K car. And the designation is a Keijidosha. It means like it's just a small car that they had limited by size. You can only have 3 meters and then displacement. So it's a 660cc, but with a turbo, 3-cylinder, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive. It's like a McLaren.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Speaking of McLarens, we should just go right into the 675
Oh
LT.
yeah. So we have a 675 LT here that I have done quite a bit to modify. So used to be red, it was crashed everywhere, had carbon damage, engine damage, all that stuff.
That's kind of your thing, right?
It's sort of my thing. It's my thing.
Yes.
But yeah, no, we added a roof scoop. It's all functional. We did actually blew the engine and then went to Cannonball Garage, got a built 4-liter in there, and then now it's bulletproof. It makes a decent amount of power.
Yeah.
It makes like 680 to the wheels, and then 680 wheel and then 680 torque. Yeah. And it's all down low, so it just like it has 600 pounds of torque from like 3,000 RPM. So it's fantastic.
Amazing.
But
nice.
Everything on the inside was done custom because my favorite car in the world is a McLaren F1. And I can never afford a McLaren F1 because they're $20 million.
Yeah.
So I made the entire interior after the McLaren F1 that we got to drive. It's chassis 22, so it has like the Daytona seats and all that stuff. So and we also did like blue tinted carbon everywhere, all the exposed stuff. So I wanted mine to be like special because you know, I want to be
we saw you rolling up in it, and this thing really has a presence. So.
But this is really cool. I mean, this is basically going to be like it's half of what I'm building the P1 to be. So P1's going to be 1,300 horsepower. This is basically half of that.
And then side note on the P1, this gentleman, I had committed my battery to Tavarish, and he actually, long story short, we realized that the battery wasn't a problem. He mentioned it might be this other small thing. So we ended up having this like $5,000 repair done that saved me $130,000. And he had a bias to keep that battery because I was going to give it to him, and he still went and hooked us up. So thank you for that.
Absolutely,
legitimately.
Man. Yeah.
That was amazing that you did that.
I don't want you getting, you know, taken or gouged by any. I'm not saying that's what they do, but
sure.
But there's definitely a thing that dealerships can do, and they start replacing parts when they don't need to. So
what was it again? Do you remember?
The HDA bleed, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it was just a bleed.
Yeah. So the P1s have this issue. The P1s actually have. I'm getting real geeky here. So they have a physical clutch between the hybrid drive assembly and the transmission. And what happens when you don't drive the P1s a lot and no P1 gets driven a lot is that assembly starts leaking like fluid onto the clutch, and then you lose E-mode.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Exactly what happened.
You lose E-mode, and then that clutch just starts slipping, and the computer just goes crazy. Once you bleed that system and you clean it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. I mean, you can replace the seals for like $2,500, or you can clean it, or like it's really easy. You don't need to get a new battery.
Nice.
But
RS6 Avant.
RS6 Avant, right-hand drive. So this is Matt Armstrong's car. He brought this over from the UK. We never got these in the States, so this is a 2011 model. And he did a lot of stuff. It was crash damaged, and he's fixed it in the UK. And then he put this crazy crazy wide body on it, and ended up blowing the engine out in California brought it over here, put a new engine from an RS7, and then drove it around. It makes like 650 wheel, and it's super loud.
This is like I mean, this one's looks absolutely insane, but like when you see these unmodified on the road, they're just the like biggest sleepers and one of the coolest looking cars in my opinion.
For sure.
If they weren't six figures, it'd be a neat first car for one of the kids, but there's no way I'm gonna.
It's interesting because this one in the UK was like 30 grand.
Are you putting my pisser?
Really?
Yeah, they are so cheap because it's 2011, but it looks almost brand new.
It looks incredible.
Yeah, and but it's so wide that like getting it on any trailer is such a pain in the butt. it is insane. That car is not mine, but it's a Honda Integra Type R. I believe it's a 97.
Okay.
Belongs to my friend Derek, and we're just storing it here for him. That is Jack's car. It is the cleanest Evo 8 you will ever see. It's a 2003.
You're not wrong.
And he did everything, like basically every nut and bolt. He replaced the frame rails. It was also crashed. But like he's a body guy and he has OCD, and it's just like this thing is crazy. It launches like mad, and everything on the inside is redone. So the inside looks like a GT3. There's no plastic in it at all.
Wow.
It's all leather, and it's a super nice car.
That was my biggest grievance about the GTR is it's this six-figure car. And I know this is not a GTR, but it's a six-figure car with the cheapest interior I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, too much plastic, too much crap. It just felt like you're in a $30,000 Nissan to me.
Exactly. I mean, that's honestly the issue that I had with Teslas, because you're paying $100,000, and then I was like, oh, it's like it's minimalistic. It's like right, but there's nothing. There's literally nothing here.
It's true.
So it's it's like Spartan. It's really Spartan. It's my 2003 SL55 AMG. I've had it for a very long time. I did a pulley and a tune. I'm about to do a manual conversion to have the first manual of these, but again, this has just been like on the back burner. I took out the hydro-pneumatic suspension that used to be on there. Now it has coilovers, and it's a cool like little just a daily convertible thing. I really like that car. I bought it for $8,900. So
are you actually making? So when you're here's my thought. Like you're buying these cars, wrecked, salvage, the P1. You're putting a ton of time, money into them. My gut is you're probably not making a lot when you sell them, but where you make the money is probably in the YouTube revenue brand deals, right? Like
I never sell them. I never sell.
I never sell them
because I'm no good at selling anything.
I got you. I got you.
So yeah, I think it's all for me. It's just about the story. Like that P1 had the most amazing story. Everybody saw that car die.
I mean, your series on that has been highly watched. Like,
yeah.
people, like, it's so engaging and awesome watching you guys take apart this $2 million car and rebuilding it. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So.
And, like, there's nothing, what I like about that car is, like, there's nothing that I could do to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's already at
it had
rock
water
bottom.
pouring out of it when you were taking it apart.
Yeah, even me taking off every bolt is making it better. So, like, what's really cool is, like, you get this car that was sold for $2 million, and then, you know, you can put tools on it, you can sit on it. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have Aston Martin DBS. This was my money no object dream car.
Very pretty.
I bought it right when COVID hit, so it's just like it's manual. It's a Casino Royale spec. I'm not a big James Bond fan, but like I just love it. It sounds like an old F1 car. V12. It's amazing. Up above it is my Ferrari 430 Scuderia that we modified quite a bit. It used to be black. Now it is a shade
like a pearl.
It's a pearl white. It's called White Lightning. It's a Cadillac color.
Oh, cool. Oh, they use on the Escalades and stuff?
Yeah, the Escalades, the Cadillac STS, the older STS.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's like a green, there's a gold in it. We also did the center lock wheels from the Ferrari 430 race car.
Sweet.
And also we converted it to manual. So it's one of the only 430 Scuderias, because they never came from the factory with the manual like the Scuderias.
Yeah.
So we converted it to manual, and it's fantastic.
That's amazing.
I love that thing. We also did the steering rack from the race car, so it's like... So U-turns are not a thing with that car.
So you have a lot of cars, and people always ask me like, how am I able to go drive? And I just do. Like in a month, I'll typically go through the entire fleet. Like, are you able to actually? And this is work getting them down from the list, but are you actually able to get these out at least once a quarter, every few months? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I keep them all on battery tenders and stuff like that. So it's it makes it. You have to do it because it's like
they die quick.
Yeah, they die, and especially the older stuff, they don't like, if you leave them alone for a month or two, it's like a pissed off ex-girlfriend. Like, they will not like it.
I hope that you choke on a piece of concrete.
But if you get them out every, week or 2 weeks or something, they're happy. Like, it's a different car.
I mean, cars in general are meant to be driven, right? Like, if like you mentioned the P1, if you don't drive, like, that's the thing about when I go to sell my cars is they're all actually driven. So theoretically, they should have less problems than a 500-mile car that's sat for 10 years. if I've driven them and put if I put 7,000 miles on it, that's probably a better mechanical car than the one that sat.
I mean, just last night I did. We passed 10,000 miles on this.
Awesome. Yeah, we've hit that on a lot of the hypers. I mean, we sold the Bugatti over that. The P1 had near that. The LaFerrari had 9998. We like it was getting close to sell, and we're like, do not go over 10,000 miles. That will hurt at like 100 grand. We're like, do not drive this thing. Trailer it if you need to go get gas. It was fascinating.
Yeah, but I mean, mileage doesn't really matter to me. All my cars, I want to make them, they're drivers.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
You know,
same.
GT3? Porsche 992 GT3.
Yeah.
This was originally owned by Adam LZ, and then he unfortunately got in a crash at Tail of the Dragon. And then Matt Armstrong bought it, rebuilt it in my shop, and then when he was done with it, he sold it to me. So we did a few things afterwards, and I actually accidentally hit a curb with the side, so I have to fix that.
I want to see.
But, yeah, it's not too bad, but I put a little ding in here.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
right there.
Bad.
Curbed the wheel a little bit. That was me being stupid.
I curb a wheel a week.
Yeah,
literally.
But this is the best manual car I've ever driven. It's so good.
Yes.
9,000 RPM. It's fantastic. And it's I'm not a Porsche guy, but it's a one of two paint to sample, ultraviolet, whatever. So this is a Supra we built for Rex, my detailer. So this was the worst right-hand drive JDM car you've ever seen. It was black. We painted everything, custom engine, custom interior. We took it to SEMA, and I mean we took the engine from I have a white Supra. We took the engine from my car, put it in here. It makes 500 something to the tire on pump gas, and it's just like it's the best kind of like clean Supra build that we can make. But yeah,
you're like living the dream. You get to turn the wrench and like turn something that's wrecked and hideous into something that's amazing and works. Like that's a fun job you have.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it beats coal mining, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. This is the first exotic car I've ever bought. This is a 2007 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. I bought this from Doug DeMuro. And
every one of these cars, like Matt Armstrong, you have like a crazy story with every one of these cars.
Yeah. I mean, I love the stories of cars.
Yeah.
That's why mileage doesn't ever matter to me. And it's just about like what you can put into the car or what the car already had. So it's a 2007. I think this has 86,000 miles on it.
Impressive.
So it's pretty, it's pretty beat on. Yeah, this thing is cool. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I love it.
It works.
On the topic of cars with stories, was there ever a point in time where you wanted to buy Steve's Senna when it was wrecked?
So I actually wanted to buy your Senna.
Yeah,
quite a bit. The problem was I just got the P1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have any money.
I get it.
Yeah. So there's the other Senna that's that was crashed recently. The Monty's Senna.
Yes.
And that one.
Is that going up for sale? He's not going to fix it?
I think so. No, it was in the auction, but then like they took it out of the auction.
Yeah.
Usually they do that either if somebody made a deal behind closed doors or there's an investigation happening.
I see.
I don't know what this
he posted yesterday that he was going to repair it. This was what I saw on Instagram. We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
Real question on that. So the reason I got rid of it was they said that the monocoque, aka the cock, was cracked, and it would never have the structural integrity of the factory vehicle. You've actually like rebuilt carbon chassis. What's your opinion on a rebuilt carbon chassis or a repaired one? Like, do you think it has the same structural integrity and we could have kept that and repaired it?
Sure. So it depends on where it's hit.
Yeah.
If it's hit in a place where you can tell that there's a lot of there's not really a place that's like magic where you can repair it and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
You're still taking a chance in any case.
Sure.
But there are places which are more like less structural and more cosmetic. Well, Porsche 911 Turbo that I gave to my detailing guy, Matt from E3 Customs. So we built this for him.
Don't get any ideas, Tommy.
Yeah, I like giving cars away. It's fun. But yeah, this is cool. It's a 49,000 mile example. We kind of cleaned it up for him. We put a new engine in it and all that because it had like a silly, stupid 4.2 liter stroker, 1,000 horsepower thing. And now new engine. It's all good. This is a really special car, but it's not my car. I was gonna trade this car, but we kind of decided to do something else. This is a R32 Nissan Skyline GTR Nismo. So this is a,
Wow.
they only made 500 examples of these, and this is a homologation car. So when Nissan wanted to go racing in the touring car championship, they needed like a certain number of examples of cars for road cars. So this doesn't have ABS, it's lighter, that sort of thing. But this has just been kind of sitting here. It needs everything. It's been modified, so you can see the TE37s.
Yep.
Because everybody has TE37s.
Everybody has those.
Yeah, like bigger brakes and a bunch of stuff, but like it just needs everything. So I think this is gonna leave the shop at some point, because that's gonna be somebody else's problem. This is my baby.
Does also have the TE37s?
No. So
they look so similar.
They're very similar.
5-spoke and this is 6.
So these are Rota P45Rs.
Okay, I got you.
And I bought this car when I was still living with my parents in New Jersey. This was the nicest car I've ever bought.
How old were you?
Probably 20.
Okay.
And I bought this car. This was back when I was a automotive journalist. So a reader sent me this car, and actually from Illinois, from like Palatine. So I bought this car originally for like $7,000.
Yeah.
It's a '99 3000 GT VR4. It's the last year that they made them. They only made 287 of these cars for that year. So I decided to lower it, give it some wheels, and then I had to sell it so I can get my house down here. I ended up selling it for like 20 grand or something to pay, have a down payment.
Yeah.
And then I wanted that car so badly. So 5 years later, I found the same car in Dallas. I found that car.
That's
so I rebought it for what I sold it for.
wow.
And then now it's just like, it has some rust because they all do. So we have to figure it out.
Speaking of reselling, there's a blue 1987 Chevy IROC Camaro that I sold in Wheaton, Illinois. I lived on Naperville Road. It was circa 1999, 2000. If you were the person that bought that and you have access to that, I would love to find that car again and be together with it again. What was the counterpart to 3000 GT? It was the Stealth, right?
Yeah, so the Dodge Stealth and 3000 GT, they were the same car.
Yeah.
And
different spoilers.
Slightly different body kits, but they're exactly the same thing. Mercedes S65 AMG. This was my daily driver for.
I was gonna say this is the coolest looking like flex car if you're gonna go and eat. In my opinion, if you're gonna, you're driving the Aston Martin or you're driving this one.
Yeah. So this is. I have done nothing to this car other than it's a 2015, so we did the 2020 body kit. I painted the car. And it's fantastic. It's I love the interior. It's super comfortable, massaging seats.
Yep.
Every option, and it has 621 horsepower. So it's great, and it's super
beautiful.
quiet. So it's like a great road trip car, even though it's really bad on gas. Like it's
really?
Terrible on gas. Like the McLaren does 30 miles to the gallon. This will do.
I'm shocked.
12.
All right, I'm shocked you get 30 out of the McLaren. That's impressive.
Yeah, once you just. In Florida, there's not like if you're going to Miami, it's the most boring drive you can have. Yeah. So it's like you just keep it at 70 or 80, and then that's it, and it just goes into 7th, and you do 30 miles an hour, 30 miles to the gallon. It's
sure. That makes sense.
This is not my car. This is Rich Rebuild's car. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's an EV guy. And he built this car for SEMA. So it is a Tesla Model S with a 6.2 liter Chevy V8 with a supercharger on it.
Some sort of LS variant?
Yeah. So it's I believe it's an LS3.
Okay.
And it's on bags, so it's just dumped.
Of course.
It has a manual transmission. And all the Tesla stuff works. So if I
insane.
there's a little
Except
switch.
Autopilot.
No autopilot.
I'm like, if that worked with this.
But it will navigate you to a supercharger station. Yeah.
All right.
Even though the supercharger's under the hood. If you there's a little switch in the back. If you turn it on, everything comes out. Everything works like it should. But then it has like a Hellcat dash in there and stuff. So
did he keep any electric motor? Like, does it have the rear electric motor?
No. He took everything out.
Oh, if he made it hybrid, that would have been. I'm just saying that would have been pretty cool.
It would have been, but I can't imagine how complicated that would have to be.
I'm with you there.
Yeah. So this is my friend Rex's Tesla.
All right.
He bought this for 17 grand. And
Teslas have hit. Was it recently then? I assume.
Yeah.
Dude,
he just bought it, and it's fantastic. It has 55,000 miles. It has it's just.
Are these
it's
floater
amazing.
Caps?
They're floater caps.
They didn't
light
up
up
the factory, did they? Oh, this is his
No.
own little thing.
No, but this is not a performance model. But we hot rodded it a little bit. It has like the ludicrous mode all the time. But it's sort of just a like a daily driver. If we need to go get someone from the airport, this is what we take.
Solid daily driver.
And it's free supercharging.
Oh, it's grandfathered into that?
It's grandfathered in, yeah. So it's 2016.
Yeah, we had an old X that it was almost hard to sell that Model X. It's like being stuck in the mortgage in the 2% range. where you're
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
like, I don't really want this house anymore, but I got such a good deal.
It's like a rent control apartment. That's basically what it is. Yeah,
Yep.
but this is cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
This is my other daily driver. It's a 2021 Dodge Charger Hellcat Red Eye. And I bought this car. Dodge gave me this car.
Yeah.
So Dodge gave me this car as a for roadkill nights like several years ago, but it was silver, and they said, we're going to give you $10,000 to modify it. You're going to race it on Woodward, all that stuff. And they said, but we need the car back, but you can keep the engine and everything around it. So what that meant to me was that I'm going to take everything that makes a Hellcat. So what I did is I bought a orange 2017 Charger SE V6 with like 90,000 miles on it from Copart. It had a clean title, but it was like, it seemed like somebody was living in it. It just smelled terrible. So then we took every single part off the Hellcat. We gave him like a shell. Because I said, like, all you need is a shell, right?
Yeah.
So we took literally every nut and bolt off the Hellcat.
Oh my gosh.
And this identifies as a 2017 Charger, but literally every part is from a Hellcat. And we got the plate, it's a smell cat on it. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. But I love it. Like it got a new paint job, and now I got it with 3,000 miles. It has 34,000 miles now. We drive it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like a big couch with 800 horsepower. So yeah, I love this thing. We do have a lot of other cars in the other shop.
Yeah.
And then we can try to see the P1.
Let's
if
do
you
that.
want. Yeah. So back here in my yard, there's a really interesting car, except for the fact that it's a boring car. So this is a 1998 Lexus LS400, and I am about to give it to you temporarily. This is Michael Elsia. He's a drifter. He works on cars, and he has a YouTube channel called Elsia's World, and he's going to be restoring this because that car right there has 1 million miles.
1 million miles. The only thing with more miles than that is Tommy's mom. And by the way, this outdoor yard is very Florida-esque.
Oh yeah.
You have like an RV, you have a trailer, there's some rundown cars. This
probably some bugs, a gator or two. You know?
This feels like Florida. Well, cool, man. Well, we'll put a link in the description for your YouTube channel. And
thank you.
This is cool.
Yeah, so this is shop number 2, and this is where we get dirty.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few projects. Some of them are mine, some of them are not, but these 2 cars we're currently working on. The one that's closest to you
R8?
is an Audi R8.
Yes.
It's a V10 Plus, so it's a 2014. This one has a V10 and a DCT, dual clutch transmission.
Okay.
And the one next to it is the car that we're modifying. That is the V8 car with the crappy single clutch, flappy paddle, whatever. Yep. We're putting all the V10 stuff into the V8 car, and then we're doing a giveaway on it.
Is that just because this one's structurally better?
Yeah, this didn't have any accident. This had a little oopsie right there.
Had a little
it got punched by the Hulk.
And yes, we are giving away Gallardo, if that's what you were talking about.
Yes, no, but you guys actually, you're supplying the wheels for this.
Are we?
Yeah,
Fitment Industries?
Yes, Fitment Industries. I got the wheels, and they are, as you can tell, like, I mean, not these wheels, but as you can imagine, the fitment is pretty good.
It's pretty good. We'll take it.
It's pretty good. You know?
I've been using pretty okay lately. It's pretty okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
It's extra medium good.
Speaking of which, we put them on the Gallardo, which is basically very similar to this, and we had a little bit of rubbing, so we gotta work on the rubbing to make sure that the person that wins that, because we already hit 1 million subs. All you got to do is go to HamiltonCollection.com, fill out that form, subscribe to our YouTube channel, look at the terms and conditions, and that is it. But we need to make sure we get those front wheels fitting mint.
Can I win this car?
You yeah.
I feel like if I won this car, people would be like shenanigans.
That would be amazing.
Like, yeah.
Could you imagine? Because we're gonna obviously be honest, of course, and then randomize it. But can you imagine if it's like an influencer that wins it? I'll be like, how do I skip over this?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll see.
It's like, not that one, no.
Whistle Diesel, you're like, oh god.
I know, right? This thing will be destroyed.
So we got these are the projects cooking right now. We have an Mazda RX-8 right there. That is my cameraman Tommy's car. It used to be it's an ex-SEMA car.
Okay.
And it has the record for most horsepower for that engine. So it has a rotary. It's a newer rotary. I think it made like 400 something horsepower. Not a ton, but he loves that car. Yeah, for a rotary. For that rotary. Rotaries make a ton of power.
Sure.
Those RX-8 engines are sort of known for not being the most reliable.
I see.
But I do have my rotary over there, my RX-7.
Yeah.
and it looks like an anime convention exploded on it, and we're rebuilding it so it looks more stock and whatever. I bought the car like that, and it looks terrible.
Does this stress you out having this many projects going at once, or like how do you manage your time?
I don't. I don't. Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of help?
It's stressful, but it's also rewarding. I mean, I've never, I never grew up with any money or any like access to cars, so the fact that I can do this is insane.
It's a dream job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's go over here. I'll show you some more. We have a car in there. It's another K car. It's a Honda Beat.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. It's such a tiny car.
It's so small. Yeah, it's a naturally aspirated 3-cylinder mid-engine rear-wheel drive convertible. 62 horsepower, and boy, can you feel 62 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels like it. I think 75 miles an hour is the end of the world in this car. Yeah,
it's redlining.
Oh yeah, you're redlining in fifth. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But if you come over here, this is Jack's project.
Yep.
So I got together with Jack, and we decided that he needed a supercar in his life. So this is a Noble M400. And it's a British supercar. It's a V6 twin turbo, and it's almost like a kit car, but they're really, really cool, and they're really fast. So Jack just rebuilt this. We had 2 cars. One of them was burnt, and that's all the stuff you saw outside.
I was literally just thinking about, okay, where were the charred remains from? Okay.
Yeah, so that's the charred remains. This one was actually crash damage, so he lopped off the front of the burnt car, which actually was in good shape, and then he put it on this, jigged everything up, and now he's putting everything together, and he has this crazy carbon wide body thing that's going to happen, and yeah, he's a hot boy, so he loves
smash together a wrecked car and a charred car, and boom, you have this.
Yeah, boom.
I love it.
And see us tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna lose the shop.
Yes.
Yeah. Back here, this is a Supra that we gave Jack. So this is like the world's worst Supra, but it has some drift angle on it. You can see that the angle is just stank nasty.
Gosh.
So that's gonna be his his project after the Noble. We got some P1 parts in there.
Ooh,
got a Supra up there.
You got a mini bike of some. Is that a Ruckus? No, it's not a Ruckus.
That is a Chinese Ruckus.
A Chinese Ruckus.
That is a Chinese Ruckus.
A Chuckus?
A Chuckus, that's right. So that's the little thing that we use to get back and forth.
All right.
Supra, my Supra that became a parts car for Rex's car.
Yep.
We have an E46 M3 that we did everything on.
Very cool.
It's Techno Violet. We did carbon roof, completely custom interior. We took the engine out, and it's just been kind of sitting for a while. Lamborghini Gallardo, Spider, gated manual, twin turbo. And
that's worth some money.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the car that kind of blew up my channel. So I built that in my garage, and now it needs a few things. So we'll be doing stuff on that.
So why don't you ever sell?
Because I like to keep. So every car that I keep is an experience. Like I can't have this experience anywhere else.
Sure.
So if it's a car that I can replicate the experience, so like let's say, if I wasn't giving away that Audi R8,
yes.
And if I got that R8 and then maybe like a Huracan, those experiences are very similar.
Yeah.
Like, and it might be different in slight, but like then I'd have to get rid of one.
Sure.
But if it's like twin turbo Lambo with a manual, it's like there's no way I can replicate that.
I totally get it. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if there's sentiment with it. It was the car that blew up the channel. Like there's
exactly. And also it's like if you buy Bugatti and then you buy like a Koenigsegg or whatever, it's like they're both like fast cars, but they're way different.
Extremely,
way different in their approach. So
yes.
Yeah.
I mean all the hypers. There's no two hypers where you're like I can't tell the difference. They're huge.
Well, if you watch your head, I mean we can go through some P1 parts. So here's a turbo from
heat shielding and turbos.
Yep. Check this guy out. So this
rusty.
is little rusty.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she doesn't chooch no more. This is it's kind of seized solid.
Doesn't chooch.
Yeah. But
nice.
Yeah, we got some bigger turbos for this. They're actually being made by the same company that made those turbos.
All right.
It's a company called Tachyon out in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And they contacted me, and we're making bespoke turbos for this engine that's going to make 1,400 horsepower, like 1,400 to 1,500 at the engine, and then 1,300 wheel.
Did you resolve the battery issue?
No, we're just not doing battery.
Oh, you're just
no battery,
no electric.
Yeah. And it's a giant nightmare because we are So we're using a 720 engine as a base. So 720 has twice the amount of injectors. It has electronic actuators for the turbos.
I saw that you guys were working. You had to rework the entire wire harness.
We're making one from scratch.
Insane.
Yeah.
to
So
me.
it's fun.
Insane.
It's fun. We have
That's
the clamshell and the front clamshell for the P1 over there.
Just sitting casually on a
just
shelf.
like we have a bunch of parts that's strewn around there. It's a lot of stuff.
BenPak, you like their lifts?
BenPak has been like a really good sponsor of ours, and they provide awesome lifts.
I just put BenPak lifts in my garage. In fact, we're gonna cut to that because I just want to talk about how awesome my BenPak lifts are. So I am super happy to announce our partnership today with BenPak. I actually found these guys all on my own about 3 years ago. I was looking at this super cool lift that they have. It's like a wide lift with 3 different tiers. We'll put the model and we'll show you guys on screen, but I was so wowed by what this thing looked like. When I saw it, I wanted to make it happen. Unfortunately, it didn't fit the width of my garage, but then I got to realizing how high quality and how fast these were. So I started shopping them with other brands, and I realized that I could not find one that had a faster down and up time, and speed is what I am all about. Believe it or not, I've owned a total of 12 BenPak lifts, and I am still coming back for more. Now, I do want to make sure that you guys know there's a huge selection and variety. You can go to their website, benpak.com, click on the link in our description, and see a whole bunch of different widths, heights. I mean, they're sure to have some solution that will work for your garage to make essentially your parking space double inside that garage, and that's what I've literally done inside my own garage. And the choice is easy. BenPak is the best auto lift manufacturer that there is out there. What are you waiting for? Now back to the original video. Tavarish. And then this thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That just showed up at my
It's
shop.
just here.
Yeah, like this is a friend of mine.
Okay.
I guess.
I guess.
And it's called a Corbin Sparrow.
All right.
It's an electric car. It's an EV, and it has 3 wheels, and they are donuts. Like
Teeny.
it says temporary use only.
Oh my
on the tires.
gosh. No.
So you can imagine how fast it goes.
So it has a belt around a sprocket. That doesn't
Yes.
seem right. Was it a chain at some point?
Well, no, because the actual engine, the motor,
Yes.
is right up here, and it's all like old EV technology. So it has a bunch of car batteries somewhere in this. I mean, if you look inside,
A Nike swoosh. It's like a golf themed. I love it.
Yeah, so you have AstroTurf, just like everywhere.
Jack,
in this
here's
car.
your first car, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a shoe.
He just turns away.
I mean, apparently they didn't make many of them, as you can tell. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it's this, and actually this would be a lot more rare than like a Senna or, you know, a Chiron Super
Yes,
Sport.
probably.
Who has this? I've never seen one.
Me neither.
Wonderful. We should go check out the P1.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. All right, so we are here at Attacking the Clock Racing, and this
right.
is where I have my P1. They do have a lot of other really cool stuff that they do, and it's all custom carbon fiber work.
Let's
check
check it
this out.
Are these parts of the P1 right here?
So these are the side
Oh, I
buckets.
see the yellow, so yes, they are.
Yeah. So this is the original side buckets, and we're using these because I have a like a mix and match of GTR parts and also stock parts.
Okay.
So this is the car, and right now we're fitting up the rear clamshell. It's exposed carbon, but it's been cut in the middle here so we can make sure all the fitment is right. So it's a GTR rear, and it's made by Exotic Car Gear. And what they've done is with the GTR, it's an inch wider on each side, so it's 2 inches wider in the back. But the GTR never came with a wing. So it only had the chassis mount
Is that
wing.
a fixed? Yeah, the one that flew up. Yeah.
The fixed wing.
Yep.
But for my car, you know, we're calling it the P1 Evo. So it's going to be made for, you know, top speed runs.
Yeah.
So we want that wing to go down. We want like the lowest aero profile we can. We also want to fit some really wide tires because we need more actual physical traction, you know? So this is a big labor of love. And
14 episodes so
yeah,
far.
14 episodes, but like this is, you know, it's realistically what has to happen to make a custom hypercar.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But yeah, come down here.
Just
the guy Sean here,
incredible.
he's a wizard at this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're getting these things to match, you know, to have like decent panel gaps, so there's still going to be some fit and finish and all that stuff. But if you take a look in here,
There's
we
the
took
yellow.
everything apart. Yeah, this is the original yellow.
Yep.
What I thought happened at McLaren is like, hey, all we do is sand this down and it's carbon fiber under there.
Oh, I saw that. I saw you go through that, and then you sanded it, and there's not nice.
No,
it's filler.
No, so there's a lot of filler. You can see the filler here, and that's fine because they want to make everything as
smooth.
as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And when the filler and everything, when it like contracts under heat, you can actually see the weave underneath the paint, which it's original paint, but then you look at the carbon fiber, and it's like a patchwork quilt. So there's like one right here, one right there, and it's not this visual carbon. So we have to overlay carbon.
So we learned that in Ramatz, or where they basically said if you want to do the exposed carbon, it's actually a lot more money because
Bugatti too. We want to do racing stripes, and they're like the whole car
that's what
has
it
to
was.
be.
They're like, we have to make all of the weave look really, really nice, even for just the stripes, which confirm that they're not nearly as meticulous about what the weave looks like if they know they're going to paint it. So
you know what? This is true for the P1, but it's not true for the 675.
Yeah.
The 675, we could actually sand this down, and it's fine. And it was fine. We did that
they
to
should do them all exposed carbon.
Exactly.
Why not?
Yeah, it was totally fine. But on the P1, it's like, oh, you think it's like this bespoke hypercar, and then you sand it down. It's like, oh, they were. This is not good, guys. But honestly, I love the car. And it still smells a little bit like the ocean. But we have, I don't know if you can see here, we have the custom seats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
They're
so
sexy.
Yeah, so that might not be the final form of these seats, because we might change some interior things, but
it's looking really nice.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just a carbon shell. We have the wiring harness going in. We just finished. Well, we're about to finish that.
Where's the harness getting done?
Harness is getting done at my shop.
Oh, your shop. Okay.
But my harness guy took it back home so he can.
It's an overnight and then a long-term kind of project.
We've been working on it for probably 4 months.
So crazy.
So the reason why is because, if you were to buy a wiring harness from McLaren, it's about 16 to 20 grand, which I mean, in the grand scheme of things, is not that much money, but it takes a year to get. And also, I'm deleting the hybrid system. I'm doing a lot of other things, so we need to modify that anyway. So what we've done is we've mapped out the entire wiring harness. I've had all the McLaren wiring diagrams and all that stuff, mapped it out, and then we're making it from scratch. And we're also making it serviceable. So the McLaren from the factory just has one big wiring harness. So you take it out from the center. You have to route it from each corner. But for my car,
a couple different ones.
So we're doing what's called mil-spec connectors. So they use them in the Army, and we're just kind of having bulkhead connectors. So they're like race car stuff. So it's like a quick disconnect at each corner. That way, if we ever need to change anything, we can add stuff, or we need to trace a wire or something. Super easy. So we can lay it out the way we want, and it's really simple.
Smart.
So Freddie, have you driven a P1?
I've never driven a P1.
Dude.
I want the first one that I drive to be mine.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They're the best. They're the best cars.
Oh, yeah. But we're also going to do a few things that are like, I know the P1, you've said that it has a harsh ride.
Yes.
I think that's a software thing. I think we can probably make the ride a little bit better.
I believe it.
So, yeah, we're also going to have to make like a velocity mode where, it kind of goes down a little bit, but all the wing comes down. Like, there's lots of things that we can do, with the platform.
Part of the problem was that I wanted to have it in race mode or track mode. I forget what it is on the McLaren. And to do that, the suspension lowers, it's more stiff, but the vehicle looks better and performs better that way. So it's a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
But even in the comfort mode, it's still rather uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something there. If you're tweaking modes and it's lifting suspension, there may be a higher ride height. There may be other things you can do to adjust it and make it better.
I think it's just dampening. I think it's just like if it hits a bump, it's just like that. There's no give.
Yes.
So I
think all be fixed, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, nobody's ever done this before, so I don't know. I can say sure, but then I'm like, oh yeah, the P1 has these crazy things that I can't. Nobody ever knows. But we've done a lot here. You see, we've done gold on all of the.
I see, that's so pretty.
We powder coated all the hydraulic lines gold.
Our exhaust was gold. That we did a Valvetronic exhaust. On our P1, and it was gold. That would match this nicely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you have an exhaust system picked out for it?
We made one custom titanium exhaust, 4-inch downpipes from unobtainium. Unobtainium welding.
Okay. They did our Senna exhaust. Very solid exhaust.
And Chris came out here. Chris is the owner of Unobtainium, and with my limited range of tools and people around me, he made this crazy custom exhaust.
That's
It took him like 3
impressive.
days. Chris is like the most awesome dude ever.
Yes.
And
like a
his
genius.
work is like otherworldly. It's
Yeah.
so good. So
Yep.
we have this custom titanium exhaust
Yeah.
that he made in-house.
They did our 765 LT
Yeah,
one
he
too,
just
right?
took care of us. That
That
we had
thing's
an issue
shooting
with the exhaust,
fireballs.
and he
Yeah.
like can't fabbed it and got it replaced. He's a great dude.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted was we're going to retain the stock, single exit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
made everything kind of like go into that single exit.
Neat. I love the Senna, but I think this is the best looking McLaren. I mean,
I
has
think
a
so
presence.
too. Yeah, it's the Frank Stephenson design. I think they got it right out of the box. And what I'm doing is like I'm slightly tweaking it so it's
Yeah.
not, you can't really tell. It's not full race car or anything like that.
Making it better.
It's still going to be street car. And now what's funny is back here is where the battery usually sits.
Yeah.
Now this is just an open cavity. So I'm like wondering what I can
what
put
are
in
you
there.
gonna do?
So one idea was a big nitrous tank. I think that's not, I don't want to do that. Another thing would be subwoofer box.
There you go.
Because
my
these
gosh.
things never had any bass. These sound systems were
yeah,
garbage.
yeah, they were bad. They were
Yeah.
bad.
So if we had a subwoofer box right behind you, wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Or like maybe a little, I don't know. It's you can put a barbecue back there. I don't know.
A champagne fridge, like a
A
little
champagne.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
It's like a Maybach. Yeah.
you
That's
go.
right.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for showing us everything. I think that's it. Right? You only 3 different stops with like 40 different cars. That's it.
No, it's
right?
okay. Yeah. I mean, I have some stuff in my house, but it's not. Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate you for it. Thanks so
Dude,
much for
thank you so
for
much.
having
Come out
us.
anytime.
Absolutely. I mean, I live 40 minutes away from your shop down here in Florida when I'm down here, so you better believe it. We'll be down
Awesome,
here. Thanks.
awesome. Let's do it.
Appreciate you, sir.